is easy when you're up on the mountain. You've got peace of mind like you've never known. But things change when you're down in the valley. Don't lose faith, for you're never alone. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, He'll make it right. For the God of the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. We talk of faith when we're up on the mountain, but talk comes easy when life's at its best. But down in the valley, trials and temptation, that's where your faith is really put to the test. For the God on the mountain is still God in the valley. When things go wrong, He'll make it right. For the God of the good times is still God in the bad times. The God of the day is still God in the night. The God of the day is still God in our night. Yes, He is.
I would like to welcome to Connie's Country Gospel Corner a dynamic lady by the name of Penny Gilley Stangley, who is entertainer, TV show hostess at The Penny Gilley Show, a weekly country music variety show featured on RFD TV. She lives in Grapevine, Texas. And Penny, I want to say I'm so pleased to have met you and want to welcome you to Connie's Country Gospel Corner.
Thank you, Connie, for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure to be on your show. And I really do appreciate everything that you do in the business. And I love your story as well. So, yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, thank you very much. Now, being that you've apparently been in this business for quite some time, you know, listening to your programs, it's obvious that you have a true love for people and doing what you do. But I'd like to ask, how did you get started? Was it something that, as a small child, that you realized?
Yes, it was, Connie. When I was, I grew up with my family. You know, we went to church every Sunday, but my dad played the acoustic guitar, and my mom played the piano and the organ. Mm-hmm. And so I started singing at a very young age, 9 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was, my dad, he was my biggest fan, and I loved him so much, and my mom. But when my dad, when they first started having me do solos at the church, my dad kind of pushed me up into the front, and he's like, okay, remember, there's two ways you get your audience, Penny, your fans out there, your friends. He ways to get them. Number one, you get them in the heart. If you don't get them in the heart, you better get them in the feet.
Oh, oh, that's wise.
Get 'em up, you better get them up dancing, whatever.
Uh-huh.
So he just, through the years, and we always laughed about that. But yeah, I was 9 years old, and when I was in the 4th grade, I met my long life friend, Shelley Humble, and we had moved, and we met in school, and she could play the piano by ear, and she was fabulous, and she played at her age for their church.
Wow.
And so we'd go to, I visit her church sometime, and then we started singing together, and then when we were in like the 5th to 6th grade, we started performing for the white teens, and we'd go around to like some of the senior homes, and it was, to be that young, 11 years old, and we just loved what we were doing. We had a great time. And then always knew, I just loved being a performer, because my mom and dad, I always tell everybody, my dad raised me on Loretta Lynn. My mom raised me on Elvis.
Good old country stuff.
And there was some great stuff in between. So I started out in the gospel field. And then when I was 15 years old, I read an article. That's back when people read the paper.
Okay, that's right.
I got a paper.
Something other than their cell phones.
Exactly. There was an audition from a gospel quartet group, and they were looking for a female. And I went and I auditioned, and I made it. And so from 15 to 18, we traveled all over the South. It was, and that's where I got my start. Is in church, singing gospel music, and it went on from there.
Yeah, one step at a time, I'm sure. Penny, we began the program today with one of your songs titled God on the Mountain. I always like to talk to the artists about the music they present here, and so I'm going to ask you about that song and why it's so special to you.
I recorded this gospel CD in Branson, Missouri. I had long overdue wanted to do a gospel CD, and people had been asking me, when are you going to do it? And so one day I was sitting in my living room in Branson, and I was going across the TV and came across the Gaithers show that day.
Favorites
and,
of mine.
Linda Randall was on there.
Yep.
And I wasn't too familiar with all of her stuff. But anyway, she caught my attention. She started singing this song, God on the Mountain.
Oh, my.
And let me tell you, when I just broke down. I broke down and I cried like a baby. It just touched my heart, that song.
Yes.
So I walked over to the piano and I sat down and I found me a key and I said, I've got to learn this song.
Yeah.
And I did.
Yeah.
And so that right there, then I called my producer there in Branson and I said, I want to do this gospel CD. And he said, let's do it.
Wow.
So I went back and so God on the Mountain, it touched my heart like never before. I don't know what it was. It was just God thing. And so, and I hear the same thing from people now. It's probably I've sang it several times on my TV show.
Yeah.
Like I'll do it, every year or every other year. I'll just keep, because I get a lot of calls and people telling me how much they were blessed and how it touched their heart.
I'd really like to take time for your second choice here, which is called He Touched Me. But before we do that, I would love for you to share more about this song, if you would.
And that just takes me back to Louisiana, my gospel group. The songs that I heard during that time.
Yes.
And
when you get out there to go to sing, and you sing a song like that, and you see how it touches other people who are listening, doesn't that do something for you?
Oh, it's the greatest feeling in the world.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's when I know that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's what it's all
you know.
about. Yeah, you betcha.
And how many times I've had people call me or tell me, that song, that got me through a rough patch. Penny, it blessed me.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
I have this one guy, he orders 4, 5, 6 gospel CDs at a time. And he says, I'm so blessed by it. He said, I want to bless other people, have them have a blessing, and he gives them out to people along the way that he runs into, meets and wants to give them
That's awesome.
something.
So here we have Penny Gilley singing the beautiful song called He Touched Me.
Shackled by a heavy burden, neath the load of guilt and shame, and then the hand of Jesus touched me. The same. He touched me. Whoa, he touched me. And oh, the joy that floods my soul. For something happened. Touched me and he made me whole. Since I met this blessed Savior, since he cleansed and made me whole, I will never cease to praise him, and I'll shout it while eternity rolls. He touched me, oh, he touched me, and oh, the joy that floods my soul. For something happened, and now I know he touched me and he made me whole. He touched me, whoa, he touched me. For something happened, and now I know he touched me and he made me whole. He touched me and he made me whole.
Now, we've heard about the Penny Gilley show, about RFD TV, and I guess I'd like to ask you, how did all of this get started?
It started, I do a lot of, for many years, I performed up in the Midwest and still go there. One day, my husband, we were talking about it, and I said, somebody's been telling me about this show on RFD TV and country music, and they keep telling me I need to check out the network, check out RFD TV. So we did, and we liked what we saw. Farming, ranching, agriculture, and music is the biggest part of RFD-TV people. That's the highest rating, is the music part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my husband wrote an email to the owner, Patrick Gotch, and within 30 minutes we heard back from him. And just so happened we were going to Branson.
Wow.
And that fall, I mean, just like in a few weeks, like 6 weeks, we were going to Branson, and just so happened he was going to Branson to look at a theater, the old Ray Stevens Theater, to buy it. And he asked if we would meet him in Branson, and so we did. And he hired me on the spot, and the rest is history. I mean, I started out so we moved to Branson. I left Texas, and we moved to Branson for 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to get back to Texas near my family and my girls and you know my grandkids, and so we came back home and brought the show here. So been on the air for September will be 13 years.
Wow. That's amazing, and it's obviously something you truly love to do, which that always helps. You know, if it's in your heart, if it's in your heart,
Yes, it's I tell people it's a tough business, trying to be an artist and travel to be on the road.
That's right.
It's an emotional roller coaster. There's highs and there's lows.
Yes.
And young people ask me all the time, Miss Penny, how do I get started? What I need to do? This kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
And I tell them, you have to really believe in yourself and follow your passion.
Yeah.
And just don't give up. Persevere. Just don't give up.
Yeah.
And just keep on keeping on,
Well, a lot of people look at what you do as a glitzy kind of thing, and everybody wants to attain that. But at the same time, there's prices to be paid for living that way. And
absolutely.
Until you get out there on the road, I'm sure you don't even begin to realize what that's all about. So. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that a lot of artists, they're just totally, they're away from their family and miss a lot on their kids growing up and that kind of thing. And but fortunately, whenever I was doing the gospel circuit and did that for years, and of course I was still singing country music because I had such a love for traditional classic country music.
Yeah.
And I just knew, I don't know, it's not that I ever wanted to be like a superstar or be famous.
Right.
I just always knew in my heart that I was put here to
sing.
To make a mark, just to touch people's hearts, to make a difference in people's lives. And I'm so blessed, Connie, that I had the opportunity to do so many wonderful things,
I'm sure. And to meet the people you have. Holy cow.
Yeah, I mean...
You can talk about that if you'd like,
Oh, absolutely. Whenever I was 15 years old, and I was doing the gospel thing, and I was singing country music at the little operas and jamborees and that type thing, there was a group of entertainers, and back in the day, they called them package shows.
Okay.
And that would be several artists on a package. They would come in from Nashville or wherever, and they would be heavily promoted. Well, I got involved with this group and helped them promote their stuff on the radio station and that kind of thing. And I worked with all the Hee Haw group. There were so many of them I had the chance to work with when I was a teenager. And I was 16 years old, and one day Ernest Tubb said, "We got a young lady here tonight. She's born and raised in this town, and she can sing, and we're going to bring her up." And can you imagine how I felt? Because he did the same thing with Loretta Lynn, and her being, my heart. I was just like, oh my goodness!
No
so
kidding.
He brought me on stage, and I sang, and it was just, I was bit early on with this bug, this fever,
I'm
whatever you want to call it.
I'm sure. It must have been hard to lay your head on your pillow at night sometimes just for thinking about everything that went on in the day.
Oh, it was, and then I never gave up my love, but I did get married, and then had children, and I did at one just kind of push it to the back burner just a little bit. The whole time I kept doing I was doing demos and stuff for different studios, but as far as traveling and playing places, I just I had kids, and I had a daughter, and 5 years later I had twin girls.
Oh.
So I had my hands full.
Oh yeah.
But when they all got in school, I decided, okay, I'm going back. I'm going back and pursue my dream, and I did. And just one door after another opened, and I'm just really thrilled. I was born and raised in Louisiana, in West Monroe, and during Desert Storm was starting to happen.
Oh, yeah.
And 1991. And,
yep.
yeah, and I called a friend of mine. I said, we need to come up with a song that will express the way we feel about our, our soldiers and our military and our veterans. And so we did, and it's called The Line Drawn in the Sand.
Oh, wow.
Only heroes dared across the line drawn in the sand.
Wow.
I put that record out, Connie, and sent it over to Armed Forces Radio.
Wow.
And, 6 weeks later, I started getting all kinds of letters from the troops and the soldiers. And one day I got a letter from General Schwarzkopf, and he said, Penny, I thought God bless the USA said it all until I heard The Line Drawn in the Sand.
Wow.
Would you please perform for the homecoming of Desert Storm at that time?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. So what an honor that was. They flew me to Oceanside, California, and I entertained. It was the largest homecoming to date for any war. It was 120,000 people.
No kidding.
Yes. And I was just this country bumpkin. I call myself country bumpkin. I was just this country southern girl from Louisiana,
Yeah.
And I was headlining with all of these big stars, oh my gosh, it was so crazy. And most of those were rock and roll, and they had all kinds of entertainment. But anyway, that's what really jump-started everything. And then after that, I was off and running for 15 years. Entertaining the troops and all over the world, 20-something countries. Yeah.
That story is special to me, and I'll tell you why. I had 2 boys over there in Afghanistan, at the same time, 90 and 91. And I worked at the radio station at the time, and needless to say, you're hearing all the news all day long, and mama's going to bed at night, stressing and fearful of what scud is going to hit her son's head, And
right.
Yes, so I can relate. I can relate.
Oh wow, that just the veterans. I'm a huge part of my heart, and I just always recognize them, and I was raised, to have a lot of respect, for our country, our flag, our, all of that stuff. But yeah, it was great going over there to all those countries. I went to South Korea, 12 tours. I went to Iraq, Afghanistan, Kosovo, all in 2002 and 3 when all that was breaking out.
Yeah.
I spent 3 weeks in Iraq and in the desert, and I wouldn't take anything for it. I mean, squirted a lot of tears, and but those guys were the most appreciative audience I've ever had in my life.
I am sure.
They were so thrilled just to bring a little piece of home to them and what it meant for their morale, you know.
Yep, to know that you've done something special just for them. That's awesome.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure God has blessed you.
That's been a big part. Well, He has, and that's been a big part of my career. And then the rest of the time, I've kept my band busy, and of course, touring, and and now, I pick and choose, kind of, I go. I don't, kill myself out on the road anymore. I just do so many dates a year, and I'll go up to the Midwest, go down back down south and wherever it can bring me. I'll go anywhere. But I don't, travel nonstop like most artists do,
Yeah, right.
Because I have the TV show, and that's a lot of work, putting it together.
Absolutely. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Well, this is wonderful. Penny, if people want to find you, where do they go? Do we have a contact information where we can send people?
Oh, absolutely. I have a website, www.pennygilley.com, PENNYGILLEY.com. Everything's on the website. My email's there. You can find contact information. Everything's on the website. Or you can. I'm also on Facebook, Penny Gilley. You can reach me through Facebook, and everything's out there.
It's out there.
All of my everything's out there.
All they got to
the
do
CDs,
is
the DVDs.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's wonderful. Because I did go to YouTube, and I was pleased to see all that you got on there. That's awesome. It shows
there's
what
so
you
many
do.
People. Well, it's important for me to reach as many people because I know not everybody has cable. Not everybody has Dish or Direct TV, which we're on, but we're on 600 cable networks. But there's a lot of people that don't, do that. So I put my stuff up on YouTube for those that can go to YouTube, and also now I have my own TV channel on Roku, the Penny Gilley Show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, that was something I wasn't aware of, so thanks for sharing that.
You're welcome. That just happened recently, the last couple of weeks, and it's going really, really well. A lot of people are downloading the channel, so I'm hearing from people from Ireland, Europe. It's been great.
Wow. Now, Penny, obviously you've had a life of living what you love to do, but is there something yet that you would like to do? Is there something more that you would like to accomplish?
Oh, that's a great question.
Did I stump you?
No.
I didn't think I'd ever stump you, girl.
I tell people all the time, I've had such, for an independent artist that wasn't on the record label, I've had such a great career. I've been blessed. I think my drive is just to keep, I tell people all the time, as long as I'm breathing and I'm able, I am going to keep bringing traditional country music and keep it out front.
Wonderful.
Keep that great music alive, and those gospel songs.
Yeah.
And as long as I can continue to do that, I don't know what my next thing would be other than just whatever it be, just let my light shine.
Just follow it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe another military tour for no grandma.
Wow. Penny, before we actually come to a close with the program here, I would like you to go just a little bit more into your CDs, about them.
The whole gospel CD is, every song on there is special to my heart. When he was on the cross, I was on his mind.
Oh my gosh, yes. Oh my goodness, yes.
I love that, and The Man in the Middle. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
And
oh my goodness.
Because He Lives,
yes.
I'll Fly Away, all those great songs.
Yes,
yes. It is today, out of all the CDs and I think I've had 7 CDs, all country and a Christmas CD, but my gospel CD is the number 1 seller and always has been. Isn't that something?
Awesome? That is awesome. And Penny, I want to ask you, is there something special that you might have on your mind that you want to share with our listeners yet here today?
I just like for those out there, watching, listening, thank you. People call them their fans. I call them my friends. I thank you, friends, for the support and the love, and it's because of them is the reason I do what I do. And the good Lord put me here for a reason, and He's blessed me. And I just hope that people away feeling good after they've either heard me sing or they've been to a concert and they just know that I'm real and I'm just
oh my goodness,
that girl next door. You know, I just
yeah. In watching your programs, that's absolutely how I feel. I could see, you know, when you might be the MC, but I'll tell you, it's like you've known these people and are friends with them forever, and you care about them, and that's what I love to see when I watch a program. I like to see the heart-to-heart touch, and that's there. So let's talk real quickly about your very last song here, Just a Closer Walk with Thee. Can you tell us about this song?
The reason I wanted to put that on my CD was the fact that it was one of the first, gospel Christian songs that I learned, you know, in church, you know, and I used to go to my grandmother's church and visit, and I can remember the choir and them singing that, and I just always loved it, and I liked the harmonies and all that stuff. So I thought, you know, I put a little twist to it, made it a little different, made it mine.
I guess I'm just going to say I want to thank you for coming to Connie's Country Gospel Corner and sharing your story with us here. And I pray that God will bless you here down the road.
Thank you, Connie, so much. And I appreciate you and everything that you do. And, you know, God bless us and God bless everybody out there. And just whatever you do, just keep the faith, folks. Never, never give up. Never
awesome
give up.
Advice. Awesome. Well, again, thank you, and we'll be looking forward to hearing more from you, Penny.
Okay, Connie, thank you.
And here we have Penny Gilley doing Just a Closer Walk with Thee.
I am weak, but thou art strong. Jesus, keep me from all wrong. I'll be satisfied as long as I walk. Let me walk close to Thee. Just a closer walk with Thee.
Just a closer walk. Just a closer walk.
Granted, Jesus, hear my plea.
Just a closer walk.
Daily walking close to Thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be. When my feeble life is o'er, the time for me will be no more. Guide me safely, safely o'er to Thy kingdom shore. To Thy shore, just a closer walk with Thee.
Just a closer walk. Just a closer walk.
Granted, Jesus, hear my plea.
Just a closer walk.
Daily walking close to Thee. Let it be, dear Lord, let it be, let it be. Dear Lord, let it be. God bless you.